podcast. This is Elizabeth Ross. Today I will be discussing the article which I chose called Restorative Youth Sports, an Applied Model for Resolving Conflicts and Building Positive Relationships. The issue presented by the researchers was how conflict in sport-based youth development programs is viewed, and they tried to gain insight on whether or not sports are a useful way of implementing or introducing restorative practices and teaching personal social responsibility. The demographic that they focused on was in New Zealand, because New Zealand is apparently is worldwide known for its commitment to restorative practices and restorative justice, and the professionals that were chosen, the students that they work with were reported to practice. 89% of them were reported to participate in community sports for at least 3 hours per week, which is kind of similar to a phys ed in the U.S. Their methods for collecting data was based on a semi-structured interviews, which were audio recorded, and they asked participants questions based on what they thought about implementing and integrating restorative practices to sport programs and sport theory. The results found that restorative practices were highly supported by professionals that were participating, and that they did believe that restorative practices could fit into sport-based youth development, and this prompted them to create their own model for implementing restorative practices and teaching personal responsibility or the TPSR. They say that we arrived at 3 areas based on our finding that the TPSR model and restorative practice include a set of core values, internal strategies to facilitate relationship development, and process to respond to conflict. So it's a little bit confusing, but basically they use the model from TPSR and restorative justice and applied it to, found that it was useful to apply to youth sports, because they felt that not only were these models found to be really successful in conflict resolution in schools and in society, but it would be useful to implement into sports and in physical education, because sport provides a really unique opportunity, which is confrontational and conflictual by nature, like competitive sport. It's problematic, and it allows for us to experience being the problem solver, and they felt that this model would be really useful for future implementations of conflict resolution, and is applicable for physical education. So I try my best, and I hope you guys kind of understand it. Feel free to ask me to see the article or to see my presentation. There's some better quotes to support the information, but the study was kind of confusing because they went abroad and it wasn't like in the US, and they just pretty much found that conflict resolution was applicable for sport-based youth development. So they came up with their own method of combining the two, and they feel like it may be a useful a useful tool to be used in schools, in sport-based youth development programs, and possibly in physical education programs, to basically alleviate the gaps that are found in research, and that basically reveal that social justice is not completely perfect yet. So thanks for watching.